You're not going to want to miss this episode of the AI Show where we talk about building recommender systems with my friend Miguel, who lives in beautiful Spain. Make sure you tune in. Hello and welcome to this episode of the AI Show where we're talking all about building recommender systems with Miguel. Miguel, how you doing, my friend?
Very good, Seth. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So tell us about yourself. What do you do?
So I'm a data scientist. I've been working on different areas in the company. I started in Azure, and recently I was moved to Xbox to gaming.
Fantastic. So, recommender systems, tell us the details.
So you see, Seth, I feel like there is a massive opportunity, that never happened before in history until now, and it's about recommendation systems where we can really build a strong relationship with customers, right? And think about. I was thinking about this quote from Henry Ford, and he's one of the biggest innovators, and he was saying, you can have a car of any color as long as it is black, he said, right? And this is actually pretty similar to what we have in the internet right now. Like all the pages are the same for everyone. And if I feel like we this quote was from 100 years ago, right? And now in the internet we have the same thing. And then on the other hand, we have the um, a personalized service, which is what you get when you enter a store. And I remember a story when I was going to get married, so I had to get a suit, you know and I went to this store, and there was this guy, and he looked at me like this, and then he said, "This is the size." And then he grabbed a suit, and I tried it, and it was perfect. And it was so perfect that I remember I was with my father, and I said, "Okay, let's try another one." And the guy brought another one, and it was like, no, it was the first one. So the guy was amazing, right? And and we were out in 30 minutes. But the thing is, this is the perfect personalized experience, right? Like you have in a day to day. But this person can only get, I don't know, 10 or 20 customers per day, maybe, right? So with recommendation systems, the idea is we can scale to thousands of customers, right? And obviously, our recommendation system is not as good as a real person, but maybe it's something in between, like you can have any color you want as long as it's black, and
Right.
the perfect experience, right? So like that's, in my opinion, that's an amazing opportunity. And something that I was thinking that Satya, our CEO, says is, it talks a lot about empathy, and empathy in the sense of understanding the customer, right? Like he has this quote. He says, like, our job is to meet the unmet, unarticulated need of our customers, right? That's what, like, unmet, unarticulated. So somehow an AI solution is something that we can understand the customer, and we can give a better service. So that's the first opportunity that I think is amazing. Now the second opportunity is the economic opportunity, right? So we have a very difficult economic situation, high inflation. All companies are cutting costs, and we live in an environment where we need to do more with less, right? And obviously, AI can help in the productivity, but we like, if you think about AI, we can do two things. We can either increase the revenue or reduce the cost, right? Now, the thing is, there are many AI solutions that reduce the cost, but and you can think about medical imaging, like to make a better use of doctors, things like digital content generation, like DALI and all these um, image generation that we're seeing that are amazing. Things like GitHub Copilot. I know you're a super fan of GitHub Copilot. You know, this is reducing costs, but you always have a limit, right? But recommendation system, for example, you can actually increase the revenue, right? And that's the key. There is there is a famous report by McKinsey around 10 years ago, actually. They mentioned that 35% of the revenue of Amazon.com comes from recommendation systems, and 75% of what people watch on Netflix comes from recommendation systems. So basically, in my opinion, if you're in e-commerce, if you're in media, and are somehow you're selling to B2C, to customers, you need recommendation systems. So that's, these two perspectives, I think they are quite interesting.
And I love that, like the two perspectives, and it sounds like you can have your cake and eat it too. One, you're getting a better experience for your customers, and two, because you're getting a better experience, you're increasing hopefully revenue. It sounds too good to be true. How does someone go about doing this in a reasonable way?
So the creating recommendation system at scale is actually pretty challenging, and my team for the last 4 years, I think we have built this repository called Microsoft Recommenders. It's an open source repository where we help people build recommendation systems on Azure, right? And we have here the repository. I'm sure we are sharing we see the
Yep.
screen right now. Now, I would like to quickly talk about the three main components
Okay.
of the content that we have here. The three main components are the test, the library, this is the library, and the examples. Now, I'm going to start with the test because, one of the biggest challenges for us is being able to maintain the library, and also being able to make a library robust enough so when people download the library and start using the library, it works. And that's very, very challenging. So we have a very advanced test infrastructure, and everything is here in this the content. We have multiple categories of tests, and actually this test, this categories is something that we work with many different people in the company. So it's not only our team, so it's people from Azure, people from Microsoft Research, and many other people. So we have like different kinds of tests. So we're trying to really make sure that we cover all the scenarios, right? Things like unit tests, data validation to make sure that the data schema is right, functional tests to make sure that the machine learning works correctly, integration, like making sure that different components in your Azure pipeline works correctly, things like performance tests, so making sure that the solution is performant in terms of computation time and memory, and it doesn't change, it's always bounded. Responsible AI test, this is something that I'm super excited about, like how we make sure that we are enforcing fairness, transparency, explainability, and we are working with the explainability of fairness team and Microsoft to make this happen. Security, which is massively important for us. Actually, the security, we have the dependencies. One of the most difficult things in this library is the dependencies. So we need to make sure that all the dependencies are secure and pass the standards of Microsoft. So really a lot of different tests. Right now we are running around 900 tests per day.
Wow.
And here you can see, here you can see some of them. So we have some tests that I execute when there is a pull request. These are the unit tests, and then the nightly builds. And here you see that we have three environments: the CPU environment, GPU, and Spark. And here's, for example, this is just one example of some of the tests. You see here it is a good number, and you see the different Python versions. And one interesting thing that we're doing, and this is very recent, is that we wanted to scale this set of tests. And at the end of the day, this is an MLOps platform, a massive MLOps platform that tests everything, right? So we are using Azure ML to distribute tests on different machines. So for example, here what you see is a group of tests. You see that this is actually a file and a specific test. And this is going to one worker, right? And there are different groups. So different groups go to different workers, and then each of them execute different tests, right? So basically we are executing everything in parallel to make sure we are reducing the cost, which right now is very important, and we are going faster.
That's cool.
So that this is the test suite, which is really interesting. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is the library per se. Let me close all these things. And the idea is the main principle is we want to make this very, very simple and very easy for people to use, right? So if you look at the content, it is very simple, right? Like we have actually, like these 5 folders and everything is there. So here we have everything related to data sets, how to load the data set, how to download the data set, and actually different data sets that we use. Evaluation is how to evaluate, like in recommendation systems, the evaluation metrics are kind of different in comparison to other AI solutions. We have the models, like all the machine learning models that we build. In the main, actually in the main page, in the main README, there is a large list of all the different models, and with a description and example. Some of them are external models and algorithms done by the research community, and then the ones that have this star are done by Microsoft, maybe by my team, or maybe by some partners like the Microsoft Research, that we work a lot with them. So yeah, here you see we have around 20 different algorithms on different environments. So yeah, that's the second component. And then the third component is the examples. And I think this is probably the most interesting component for people that want to learn about recommendation systems and they want to build. And is basically is a set of examples using Jupyter notebooks. And basically we have 2 kinds of examples. So what we call the quick start examples. And for example, here, this is one algorithm that is pretty simple, is very fast. Is one of the algorithms that our team developed. And the idea of this quick start notebooks is a very quick way of showing the algorithm. So we use one data set. Here you have the example of data set. Then we train, we the split and train and test. Then we instantiate the model, we train the model, predict, and then compute the metrics, right? It's very, very simple. If you want to start, if you are starting on recommendation system, you can bring your data here, execute this algorithm, and it should work, right?
This is really cool. I mean, sorry, you were going to say, I just want to mention, so in this repo, you have the tests that show the thing is solid, the models that you can use, and there was over 20, half of which your team or folks at Microsoft had built. And then you have simple notebooks that show you step-by-step process how to use them. Am I getting this right?
Exactly. That's the key idea. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why this library has been so successful. And actually, there was something amazing that happened last week, actually. For the first time, this library is the top rated machine learning library at Microsoft on GitHub. We surpassed LightGBM. LightGBM is actually a boosted machine library that we
Yeah,
also did at
it's an
Microsoft.
important one.
Is very good. Is in my opinion, LightGBM is a piece of art. So for
Yes.
people that are in AI, LightGBM is I mean, like a piece of art. It's fantastic. And being at the same level as LightGBM in terms of popularity is an honor. It's an absolute honor. So we're super happy.
Fantastic. So this is something that you use during your daily work and other people at Microsoft, and now you're hoping other people will use it as well. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. That's a lot of people internally at Microsoft are using it. Different teams, but also we worked with external teams using this repository, and actually we from time to time we heard people that they use the repository and we don't even know, because this is an open source repository and anyone can take it. And it's funny because sometimes I get an email, a message from LinkedIn, and it's like, "Hey Miguel, I'm using recommenders. It's super cool." And then they may ask you a question like, "Hey, how can you help me on that?" And you know, I think it's really, really, really interesting from Microsoft point of view. I think Microsoft is providing a good thought leadership. Providing open source code so people can learn, and also even for our customers is good because we are creating content that is useful to these customers, right?
I love it. So if folks want to get started with recommenders, what is your suggestion? Obviously, go to the repository. We're gonna put a link on there. But what would be your go do this to learn stuff? What would you tell people to do?
Well, so my advice is, in my experience, when I create AI systems, the best strategy is to start from something that works. That's the
Yeah.
key, right? So instead of creating something from scratch, which is what everybody does, it's actually I will do the opposite. I will go. This is what I will do. I will go to one of the simple examples here. Just let's take this one, and I will make sure it runs in my computer. It should run because again, we have these 900 tests, so it
Right.
should run, right? If it is not running, just let me know, but it should run, right? And then make sure that it runs. And then what I will do is I will come here and I will remove this data set and I will put my data set and see if it works. And then build from there, start from there. Because this is and the interesting thing is that if you follow this pattern, suddenly you have around 20 different algorithms that you can try, right? So suddenly from not having anything, you'll have a massive suite of different algorithms that you can try. And even this is just for the machine learning, and we just talk about the machine learning, but for example here, if you want to operationalize this and deploy this model, so we have examples on how to deploy this model on Azure, right? So here, this example, for example, if you want to create this, here's one example. You have different Azure services, and actually this notebook has two ways of deploying. One is the batch mode, where basically you store all the recommendations in Cosmos, and then if you want to provide the recommendations, the only thing you do is you do a select. So it's basically given an ID, give me back the store, the requested output, and is like this, you see. So given the ID, I'm just doing a query to Cosmos, and I'm returning the list of items. This is what is called the batch architecture.
That's cool.
And then the other one is the real-time architecture, when you can load the model in memory and you can score the model in real time. And well, there are several differences, but here you have a very in just one notebook, you can use it to deploy your machine learning model and put it in production.
I love the advice of, hey, start with something that works, like take a notebook, run it, and then start putting your data in it. This is amazing. Thank you so much for being with us, my friend.
It was awesome to be here.
Awesome.
Awesome,
Well,
Seth.
for those that are watching, make sure you go to the repository. I'm putting the link below so that you can take a look at it. We've been learning all about building recommender systems with Miguel, who has made a wonderful repo that I am going to go and play with. Hopefully you will too. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Take care.